Let's now go over more details on this Sunday's presidential runoff. We are joined by political scientist Diego Pérez. Hello, Diego. Welcome from the South.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Hi, it's a pleasure to have you. Diego, what are the key policy differences between the candidates in this runoff, particularly regarding social welfare and economic development, as well as healthcare and education reforms, key issues that were on the table on the road to election day?
Well, if we see the candidate from the Frente Amplio, Yamandu Orsi, he has a left-leaning tendency, which means that he believes strongly in the state's intervention, and also he wants to improve, especially economic indicators and social indicators regarding education and as well as health. Whereas the right candidate, he tends to continue. Delgado wants to continue with Lacalle Pou's term in terms of this more restrictive, more business-oriented, private-oriented policies, which mean that the gap between the rich and the poor would continue amplifying. So probably that's the main difference. And also I think that it's important to highlight the difference regarding their connection to the continent, where the Frente Amplio candidate Orsi wants a stronger relationship between Uruguay and the rest of the continent. Meanwhile, the right candidate Alvarado wants a more independent, more isolationist view regarding the continent.
The climate crisis is also a main aspect to consider. What are the candidates' positions on environmental issues and how might their policies affect Uruguay's sustainability efforts?
Well, Uruguay has always had a very tense relationship regarding the environment, certainly. And I think that the Frente Amplio's candidate wants a stronger intervention from the state, trying to contain several of the key aspects that promote and provoke pollution. And as I said before, the right candidate he wants to promote businesses, independent businesses, private sector businesses, and that means lifting restrictions, provoking a more loose role of the state regarding how they would control the intervention of the state in the environmental issues.
How do you
The,
see the proposed economic strategies of each candidate differ, and what are the potential short-term and long-term impacts on the national economy?
Well, a stronger state intervention in the case of the Frente Amplio would mean trying to reduce the gap between rich and the poor, but also has an impact on businesses. I mean, they would be subject to higher taxes. They would be subjected to stronger processes of bureaucratic processes, and as well as stronger restrictions coming from the law. On the other side, a more loose from the right, a more loose state intervention would mean, of course, more options for the businesses, but that has a toll on the issues regarding social justice. Now, the thing is that probably currently the Uruguayan society has had a decline on social issues, and has had a decline on the quality of life. So that would mean that probably the right-leaning candidate would have a more difficult task in collecting the popular vote in order to get the election to his side. Probably the people now is facing a moment where they feel tired of this same type of public policy, especially on the economic side, and they want a more interventionist, more protective state around them.
You were previously referring to Uruguay's relationship with the region and the rest of the world. How do you see this happening, depending on each candidate's position, how is going to be its relation with Mercosur and other trade agreements, and what are the candidates' view on Uruguay's diplomatic relations with neighboring countries, especially in light of recent regional political developments?
Well, as I said, the thing with Yamandu Orsi is that he has been very outspoken regarding how he would address the region. He's been known for believing in Mercosur, and he wants also to promote a stronger role, a stronger relationship from Uruguay to the other countries in the region. And it is key to say that even though Lacalle Pou or actually Alvarado hasn't been against the Mercosur and the integration policies, they are seeing these processes more in a bilateral way, whereas Orsi is seeing this in a more multilateral, more organized, and with more countries involved processes. No, now a key aspect there is China, and probably I think these two candidates have an agreement regarding the role that China has with Uruguay, with the Uruguayan economy, and I mean the regional economy. So in that aspect, I think that they would they would agree that the key role that China might have in the region is probably being seen in its full picture in this election, where both candidates are agreeing that China has to have a very strong relationship with them, and it has to have a very strong role in the country's economy.
Diego, we have time for one more question. What challenges do you foresee for the winning candidate, regardless of who ultimately prevails in this election?
Well, probably the main challenge that either candidate will have is security. Uruguay has had a very strong problem regarding security and narco trafficking in the last months, in the last years actually, and I think that the main issue for any candidate would be to ensure that the country would pacify, and to ensure that the country will have enough potential to contain the spread of narco trafficking and organized crime organizations within the country. Now, the second thing, it has to deal with the region. Uruguay's relations with Argentina are currently broken, and even though the relations with Brazil are going in a very good way, they should also be strengthened. So probably these are the two issues. Now, in the internal front, probably the main issue is social disparities, and they will have to work strongly towards reducing the gap between rich and poor.
Thank you, Diego, for your time and your inputs here from the South.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
You too. It was a pleasure to have you. That was Diego Pérez, a political scientist, expressing his opinions and his inputs on everything that is happening today in Uruguay as the country decides on the next president, vice president. Let's now take